Lincoln.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Bullshit.
Oh my God, I love Bill Edford.
From the Gettysburg Tour Studio.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Bonfire.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg Today.
I love this podcast.
Hello, exactly.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Addressing Gettysburg Today. AG Today, we call it for short because we're too lazy. And it is, you may be saying to yourself, boy, I thought it was off a little bit on what day it is this week. It must be Friday already. But no, it's not Friday, Veronica.
It's not.
What day is it?
It is Thursday.
It is Tuesday, Thursday. And that is confusing to a lot of people. What are we doing? By the way, Arnold, Alderson brought us into you as well. Alderson brought us into all of you. No, so what is it that's going on? Well, we were talking, last few weeks we took off because there was the movie was shooting in town and, just so much. And
live show at the seminary.
Live show at the seminary. A lot of things going on for us here. And so we haven't done a live show. And we were talking about, when we're going to come back. And originally it was going to be tomorrow. But Veronica said, well, I have tickets to the Ken Burns thing. And I said, well, Mr. Burns won't let me interview him, so I'm not going to go to the thing.
Except
I do have a
birdie,
ticket.
Yes, little birdie through the grapevine told me that our friend Jamie is the most thoughtful generous person.
I think she assumed that I was going because she said, do you know anyone who would want it? And I said, yeah, I want it.
Yeah.
What are you, nuts?
But
is it for the whole thing or is it just for one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She only mentioned Friday at 7 because she had texted me and said, do I know anybody that wants them? And I mentioned our friend Tim because I had talked to him earlier in the week. And
sorry, Tim, I took it.
No. He has the second one. He's getting there were
good.
two. So
okay.
I said I want to claim one for Tim. I said, but I'm not sure if Matt knows or has a ticket because when I mentioned the Friday movie, he seemed kind of like, what's that? Mm-hmm. So I figured he didn't have a ticket, and then she reached out to you.
I got to tell you, people, they email me, anything going on this weekend? Like I'm the effing travel agent, But yeah, well,
I need to have my own page or something. We got to figure this out.
I think we got to make you your own email address. I think you've been.
No, I don't. No, I'm not. I'm not responding to individual emails. I don't even do that for most of my clients. I mean, like a page on Facebook or something like that. Or give me a password for Addressing Gettysburg or something. If we can figure out something.
Maybe what we could do is, we could make you an admin on the Facebook page.
Something like
anybody. If I could figure it out. I tried to make Maria one because she said she'd like to help with it. And Facebook, I hate Facebook. And I hate all these tech companies and everything with these little kids that used to be, stuffed in lockers in high school, the way the world should really work, right? And then they get this like techie power and all of a sudden they act like these despots and they ruin everybody's lives. And they ruin my life because, just when I get used to the way everything looks and operates on a website, they go, we need to update. And then they change the whole thing and you can't find anything. It's never where you left it. Yeah. So if I could ever figure that out, we could do that. Yep. Or maybe we could make a Ronnie's News page, like a separate page.
I think I'm getting pushed out of this spot. I can feel it. There's
What
not going to be a need for me here if you let me announce all of the upcoming events in one consolidated place where people aren't going to have to. They'll shut off before the end of the last segment, and I won't have any more value to this show.
Okay,
so we're not going to do that. But I will make a suggestion, though. All joking aside, on Facebook, the Addressing Gettysburg forum is a place where you can post. You can see a lot of events. People are sharing events or news stories, etc. You don't need to be the administrator on Addressing Gettysburg Facebook page, but the Addressing Gettysburg forum, check that out. And there's a lot of good stuff that's being shared. I know we made a big deal about the Century program that they had on February 4th here for folks that that needed kind of a quiet presentation in the visitor center, and that went over quite well from what I hear. So kudos to the National Park Service.
Very nice.
And the foundation was involved in that as well. Kudos to those folks. But yeah, that's a place where you can kind of get a little bit of information in a consolidated area. So go on over and join the Addressing Gettysburg forum.
Yeah, the forum it's a private page. So can you request to join, or do you have to be invited?
I
You
think,
have
no,
requests, right?
you just click on join. I'm
Chris,
not sure if there's questions or not that you have to answer.
I think there are, yeah. Chris Whittemore, he runs it, and he does. It was his idea, and I was like, I love the idea, but I am not going to run it. So you have to do it if you want to do it, and he's done a great job with it. Yeah. He's very conscientious with the rules and everything, and the enforcement of them, and adding new ones. Like recently, there was, I guess, people were posting business promotions, or I forget what it was exactly, but we don't want it to turn into like the bulletin board at the post office, you know. Yeah. So we do allow businesses to post something there, but they have to already be a sponsor of the show, because they're paying to be a sponsor of the show, and you know, you got to pay to play in some cases, and so, you know, and that's it. So you can't use our audience to promote your business if you're not actually part of the show as a sponsor. I mean, I think that's only fair. It's fair, right? Makes sense, you know, the people are already used to hearing commercials from the sponsors on the show, so to see a post by one of them, and we limit it to one a month. You could do only one a month. Oh, I don't even think it. Well, that's a new rule he added because of whatever the thing was. I forget what it was that happened. But anyway, what were we talking about? We went on a couple of tangents here, and I want to get back to it.
Why we've been off for a while.
Why we've been off. So we've been off. So Veronica, as you may know, folks, you know, she's always running around doing something else, right? She makes all these plans. It's as if she doesn't know she has this show every Friday. And so so we were talking about it, and she's like, yeah, you know, I was looking at it, like the next 17 Fridays I have something to do. And I said, well, then let's just change the day to Thursday. And I think Thursday might end up being better, and here's why. One, Veronica might be here more often. Two,
thank you.
It gives you all an extra day to catch the show. Let's say you're coming down to town, right? And you miss it Friday on your drive in. Why? I don't know. What you would be listening to that would be more important than us, I don't know. But let's say you miss it. But now you don't have to worry about catching it on your drive in, because you can get it a whole day earlier and really think about it. So you hear about what's going on this weekend on a Thursday, and you go, say, honey, you know, I heard.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, yes, I heard. I was listening to AG today on the way home from work today, and then Ronnie Ronstadt told me that, you know, there's something going on at the World War II Museum, and I think we should do that. And she goes, oh, that's good. And I'll fit it into the Tanner Family Planner here at 1:30, because we don't have anything there already. And then everybody's happy. If you heard that at 5:30, 6 o'clock, or you missed it because you were listening to Top 40 radio, why you would do that, I don't know either. Then, you know,
honestly, a lot of things, they happen on Friday evenings.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, and that's another thing. Yeah.
Like the Seminary Ridge, when they do their happy hours or their tours, Friday evenings. So when we're saying, hey, you missed it, but keep your eyes open for next year's, you know, whatever event, it makes sense, I think,
I agree.
to do it a little bit in
I
advance.
agree. So new day and time, Thursday, and actually we're gonna start at 5:30, because sometimes Veronica has court late in the afternoon, and she might not be able to get here in time for 5 o'clock. So we're gonna push it back to 5:30. We did it 5 o'clock today because we have dinner plans after this, and we don't want to be late because I haven't eaten. You know what I had? I had a yogurt this morning at like 9, and then I had 3 of those rollatini, you know, cheese sticks. Yeah, I love those things. And there's like 100 calories each, so like I'm way under what I need to get today. So can't wait for dinner.
There you go.
Gonna be pigging out tonight.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, so there's that. Let's see what's anybody saying here in the comment section here. See, because I'm running the computer. Colby's not here because he has something to do tonight with his wife, but he will be back on Thursdays from next week. Good afternoon, all, from Robert Dalby. Good afternoon to you. Arnold Vasquez says, love you guys. Thank you, Arnold. We love you too. Well, Veronica doesn't, but I do. Estella says, hello. Hello, Estella, listener of the year, Dark Shadows, Paranormal, and History. Hello from Ontario, Canada. Oh. Canada. Very nice. How's the weather up there? Eh? That was my Italian. I mean, my Canadian. My Italian. Jesus. Yeah. I swear to God, I need to go to a neurologist. My brain is not right. Harold Hahn says, hi, everyone. Hello, Harold. Dirty Bernie of Pismo Beach. Hello, all. Hope everyone is having a great day. From Sterling Heights, Michigan. Well, Pismo Beach, isn't that? That's not in Michigan. MI is Michigan, right? Yeah. Or is that, what's Missouri?
No, MI is Michigan. I don't know Missouri. MO?
Missouri. And then Mississippi's MS. And Maine is M-E, right? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, good. Back to the show. And there he is, Dirty Bernie. A little bit later, he says, welcome and hit the like button. And folks, I can't, actually, Ronnie, I think we're being shadow banned because we're a Civil War thing, right?
Yep.
Because I've noticed when all the other platforms, just on YouTube, all the other platforms, everything's going up continuously. It's been going up, every month, more and more and more, right? Last couple months on YouTube, down, down, down. And nothing that I'm aware of has changed.
Yeah.
We're still releasing, the same amount of shows and everything. And on all the other platforms where those shows go out, everything's going up. So I think we might be, I've been talking to other people who are like YouTube history people and everything, and they get a lot of problems because they're doing like World War II and, Hitler stuff. It's, it's iffy, but like one of them was telling me that he's heard some scuttlebutt that history channels in general are not necessarily shadow banned, but they're somehow downplayed, especially ones that deal with World War II and the European theater and the American Civil War. And we don't do a lot of Confederate stuff, and it's not because we're necessarily anti-Confederate as far as education goes. But I mean, I never use the Confederate flag because that image will get you banned. And we don't really do much praising of Confederates, but the words Robert E. Lee written in a description is enough to, make them look at you and go, even though we could say Robert E. Lee was a dirty traitor bastard, no offense to you Virginians out there that might get upset, it's still, so anyway, my point is, like Dirty Bernie says, like, share, subscribe. Apparently you could also, I didn't know this, you could, there's a donate button or a thank you button or something like that while you're watching it live. Throw something our way there.
My limitation of, I was going to say electronics, almost electronics, although that's an exaggeration a little bit. But technology like this, these platforms and stuff, is limited to my experience with what you're doing, and I'm way on the outs. Like what you're doing over there with the board and everything, I know what Colby does. I have no idea what Eric used to do. No clue what you guys are doing.
That's not your job.
But I don't even know what shadow boxing is. Or shadow banning. Sorry, I do know what shadow boxing is.
Shadow dancing.
It just seems like too much energy. I don't know what shadow banning is.
Shadow banning is like where you're not officially banned, as far as I can understand it. So like they're not saying, we're banning your account, but they're not making it so that you can be seen easily in people's searches and you're not suggested as much.
Interesting. And
I don't know. I don't have other YouTube accounts that I use. Although I have other Gmail accounts, so I probably could get into YouTube through that now that I think about it. Yeah. So I'd have to go and look and see what it looks like to look at our stuff. Like if I just typed in Gettysburg, like where do we come up in searches? But whatever. I don't know. It's a suspicion I have. Maybe I'm paranoid. Who knows? But I've just noticed that. So, share stuff. Sharing helps a lot. What else here? Let me scroll up here a bit because we've got... All right, Dirty Bernie. There's Dirty Bernie, right? Fraser Baby. Hello, everyone. I am new here. Well, welcome, Fraser Baby. We hope you enjoy it and hope you stick with us. Okay, let's see. I love history about the Civil War, learning more about getting... Antietam, Sunken Road, etc. I meant to say Gettysburg. Okay, gotcha. There you go. Barbara Schultz. I just wish you would post on the Facebook page when you won't be doing a show or changing the day, etc. Barbara, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll get one of my assistants to make sure they do. Oh wait, I don't have assistants to do that. I'm sorry. I was recording. I had a meeting this morning that went 4 hours, and then I had a recording that went from 1:30 to about 4 o'clock, and here we are at 5 o'clock. So yeah, but we will. I don't mean to be sarcastic there, but we will try. Hello from Colorado, says Matt. Hello from Colorado there, Maddie. How you doing here? Ronnie and Kathy are still smitten and starstruck from meeting Bruce Boxleitner. And let's talk about that a little bit. You got to meet Bruce Boxleitner, and I know to you that's like
I
might as well.
Can't say who anymore.
You actually know him.
I had to look him up, and yeah,
you broke bread with him.
Yes, he's a very entertaining guy.
He is very nice guy,
nonstop, like witty and
and then and he goes. But so we interviewed him. If you're a patron, you've heard the interview already, I'm sure. And if you're not a patron, go to patreon.com/addressinggettysburg. But so we interviewed Bruce during the movie thing when they were shooting the movie. And we were in here. And so I was going to call you ahead of time and see if you wanted to sit in with me on it. And then I was going to the hotel to pick up Bruce. And out front was a news crew interviewing Bo's girlfriend, Chris, who was very instrumental in getting this the movie to happen with Bo. And she was being interviewed by the news. And so I went inside and I retrieved Bruce. And I came out and they had finished with Chris and then Chris goes, "Oh, well, there's one of the stars right now." And then he goes, "What? Oh, camera, haha." And so then he does a little interview with them. And I put a picture of it up on Instagram and Facebook so you could see it. And so I went over and I was talking to Chris. And then you tried to run us down because we were standing in a parking space. And she just, out of the corner of my eye, I just see this, all the cars are going around the circle. And then I just see this one make a beeline for us. And I was like, oh my God, this is how it ends. And then I realized it was you because as you slowed down below 15 miles an hour, it made that stupid chord that sounds like a bunch of Satan's spawn. Coming to collect souls because she has a hybrid. And anyway, and so I go and I say, "Oh, I was going to call you, but I'm going to interview Bruce if you want to sit in." And Veronica's like, I don't really know if I want to sit in. I don't really know much about him. It was just, fair. When it comes to movies, Veronica doesn't know anything or anybody. And then I said, "Well, you can come and just sit in." And I said, "Kathy, I'm sure knows who he is. And would you like to come in?" And Kathy was like, "Yes, yes, yes." She was all excited.
But she's tried to be so demure. Oh, okay. I didn't even think of that. Oh, sure, yeah. She gets so excited. I love Mom. The irony is, if you would have just called me, got time for that. If you would have just texted or called or something like that, normal.
Yeah.
I probably would have been like, "No, that's okay, thanks." I'm not gonna.
So thank God Kathy was there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just thank God that we saw you and that Kathy was there because I was just goofing around, messing with you and Chris by pulling towards you guys. That when you said that, and actually, Mom, we had to go home and let the dogs out, right? And
who let the dogs out?
Us. So. Oh my God, we're such dorks. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we had to go let the dogs out. So as we're going up Carlisle Road, I look at Mom and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to call him. I don't know. Like, even just to sit in, I don't know this. And she goes, "Well, I mean, we could go. Like, we could." And I sit, and then I immediately
grab
picked
your
up
arm and be like,
okay,
"You do, and you're out of the will."
Yes. I'm gonna donate it to the animal rescue or something. You're not gonna get a penny, yeah. But
so we're, they're sitting here, watching, and I caught a glimpse of Kathy every once in a while.
I've never seen her that way.
She was so transfixed, she was just like, "Oh, Bruce, oh Bruce." And Bruce is sitting where you're sitting there. How does it feel that your butt is where his butt was?
Yeah.
And then after, you hear it at the end of the interview. I'm like, "I'm hungry. Let's go eat." And he's like, "Yeah, let's eat. Let's get Mexican."
Yeah.
All right, let's get Mexican. And I thought that, well, maybe he's just saying that for the sake of the show. But no, we all went out and
really nice.
We had fun. And we had a nice dinner with him. I love the guy. I had so much fun with him. And I know, I'm nothing special. Like, you probably already forgot my name by now. But I had a lot of fun with him. And it was great because, there'd be like a day where there's not much going on and he's off, and then I'll get a phone call and be like, "Hey, Matt, I'm bored out of my mind. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, nothing really. What do you want to do?" "I don't care. Just get me out of this hotel." So I would pick him up and we go and take him. I took him around the battlefield a lot, and he loves this stuff.
That's neat.
And I gave him a book because he has an ancestor who was in the 12th Illinois Cavalry. So I went on Amazon. I found a book. It's the only book I could find about them, and gave it to him. And we looked his ancestor up online and finally found him. He was in Company G. His name was Owen McMahon. If that's not an Italian name, I don't know what is. And so he was all excited that we saw his name, and he was a deserter. But we had a laugh about that. But anyway, yeah. So we did that interview. and had dinner with them and had a lot of fun. And it was a really cool time with the movie people here. I was I mentioned this on the seminary show. I was Lee Majors' assistant, and that was pretty cool too. It's surreal, kind of, because Lee Majors. Again, you don't know anybody, but
Do not.
anybody who had open eyes, since 1970 whatever. Knows Lee Majors as a $6 Million Man, later on the Fall Guy. I mean, you know the movie Scrooged?
I know of it.
Okay. Jeez.
I know what you're talking about. Wasn't Bill Murray or something was in it?
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I know.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
you knew that, right? Well, in the beginning, there's like a montage of shows that the TV station that Bill Murray works for, or is the president of, or whatever the hell he is, puts on, and they're all like these really messed up type shows, and one of them has Lee Majors, and I can't remember what it was, but anyway, so he was in a lot of things from my youth that I remember because I was conscious during mine. I don't know about yours, but
This wasn't a thing.
but it was really because my mother.
Yeah.
Oh, send a video of Brucey. Where's Brucey? Oh, Lee Majors sent a video. So I had them, do videos saying hi to my mom, and she loved it, and yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was cool, and it was great to see the town pull together behind the project. Everybody was really awesome about it.
Yeah.
The town itself left all the Christmas decorations up, and literally the minute they were done shooting, they started taking them down. But
just noticed the Christmas tree was gone yesterday. I just noticed it. It could have been gone before that, but yeah.
No, I think it was within the last 2 days it went down.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because I did see it 2 nights ago when I was out, but I don't remember yesterday. Oh. Anyway, so that was fun.
Are there plans for them to be back for the premiere?
Yeah,
or?
they're talking about a premiere at the Majestic, and Bo and I. Now this isn't set in stone, but he was talking and he was telling me he'd like to figure out a way to make it free.
Wow.
So that people could see it, and I said, yeah, that would be nice since everybody pulled together to help you make it and all that. And he goes, I just don't know, because he doesn't own it.
Right. Okay.
So the financer owns it. So it's really up to him because it's his product. But Bo is going to try to do that. At least he wants to do it. So just let the record show. If they end up charging you for tickets, he wanted to make it free.
Nice.
But no, and so who knows? But that's not a guarantee. So don't hold Bo to anything that I'm saying right now. But yeah, that was a good time. And then we had our show at the seminary, which went very well. 3/4 of it went very well. And then there's that. If you're a patron, you know what I'm talking about. You can hear the game show that bombed.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cody and Pete. I thought
they were great.
I know, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Jeez, oh man, nobody even plays along.
I know, it's fine. No, yeah, Cody and Pete were really good. And it was cool. I liked that space. It was cramped for sure, but it was very intimate.
Yeah.
And as far as sound goes, I think it was a lot better of a room than anything we've been in before. But yeah, it was fun. It was like nice to do that. And I like doing the live shows. There are a lot of it. It's a headache.
Thank you for letting me join in. That was my first one. So
I know. And
off site. Yeah.
So that was your first one in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And were you nervous?
It was really the first one, like, where I've actually interviewed somebody, like not interviewed, but you know what I'm saying, like
you were a
helped
co-host.
you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think much like Mike and some other folks, you've let me sit in on some like the Ask Guides or something like that, and just like pipe in here or there. But yeah, that was my first official co-hosting, and especially in front of the live. But it was neat. It was a lot of fun, and Cody and Pete, they just kill. I mean, they know so much about the
really,
history.
you and I
of
could
the
have taken
seminary.
naps.
Yeah,
like we really didn't
Yeah.
have to do. Once we introduced them, we could have just let them go.
they were awesome.
Next
They were
time,
really
let's
good.
do that.
All right, that works.
Of course, the next show coming up is much bigger. Had a meeting yesterday with Mark from Community Media and Casey Turbin, our sound guy for the live shows. And we went over to the Adams County Historical Society to look at the room and check out the sound system that they already have built in there, which is really nice. And, of course, Veronica, you're going to be at Bruce Stinkstein. You can't go the next night? You can't, like, swap tickets?
Just ask if he'll play one more night.
Yeah. Oh, he's not doing more than one night?
I don't think so. Not there. Mm-mm.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be hosting that alone, but Tim Smith will be a guest. Andrew Dalton will be a guest. Andrew says Sue Boardman and Jake Borat are going to be guests.
That's awesome.
I haven't spoken directly. Well, I spoke to Jake, and so he didn't seem to object. And Sue, I haven't talked to yet, but whatever. I can pressure her into doing it.
Neat.
So it should be fun. We're not going to do a game show. Nothing like that. I'm once bitten, twice shy. So even though I can easily go back to one that I know works, but I don't want to bore people, and it's like doing the same thing over and over again.
I think the intrigue is the brand new museum, right?
Yes.
And there's so much, I'm sure, to talk about there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but the Historical Society themselves did a behind the scenes, kind of like a fundraiser sort of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I saw
just
that.
a video, obviously, and they just kind of did a shell of like what's going to be here and what this room's going to be, and like leading in, and it looks.
I'm telling you.
It looks pretty badass.
Yes.
I mean, I'm so excited to check out the finished product.
I love, when we were there yesterday, they were working and it was really cramped. And so Tim said he would have taken us around to see the progress, but we couldn't. But I love the room that we're going to be in. It's a beautiful view of Howard Avenue. And it's big. I mean, you could hold 250 people if you just line up chairs, and I think it's 150 if you do tables.
Okay, yeah.
So we're trying to sell 210 tickets. And if we can hit that, then we're going to have a mix of tables and chairs. If we get below that, around 150 or so, then we're going to do tables. And, it'll be fun. And yeah, so that's about it with all that stuff. Now, okay, one more thing, which we did. I remember just what was it, last weekend? I believe it was Sunday. We recorded the first episode of our first spinoff. That's what she said. Oh. And when it was finished, I stood up and I said, "I just want to say, I am so proud of myself." And I sat and listened the whole time. I didn't do a damn thing for that, right? But here's why I'm proud of myself. Because I knew Veronica and Bethany would do a fantastic job right out of the gate. They didn't know. They doubted themselves. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. What if this happens? What if that happens? Should I do this? Should I do that? I was like, shut up and just be yourself. And that's what they did. And it was great.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a big relief when it was over, just because of fear of the unknown kind of thing. You just literally let us fly, and it was
best way to do it.
I will throw out a huge thank you and a huge shout out to Roseanne Zako. Zyko.
Rhymes with psycho. Remember?
Zyko from the Licensed Town Guides force. She just absolutely knew her stuff. Our first topic that we just happened to record was about Elizabeth Thorne.
Right.
And I hope that you all will tune into that on the Patreon feed once they start coming out, because if the other episodes are going to be anything like what Roseanne gave us, I mean, I am just so excited about this project. I think there's just so much potential to shed some light on some maybe lesser known specifically women and women's issues that happened during the Civil War, and then we're going to hopefully expand out even from there. But yeah, Roseanne, I mean, she made that episode very
honestly
smooth. I mean,
I think that was a perfect first guest for you guys to have, because you guys all know each other already.
Yeah.
And there was I could see it as soon as she came up. It was like, I might as well not have been there. Like, honestly, like the three of you were just like, oh, you know, blah, 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 whatever you guys say in girl talk, you know, it's just, that's
just like that.
It's just, yeah, it's just, you know, just, that's pretty much, yeah. Well, yeah, it was just, you know, I was like, oh, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, just like that, just like that. But, you know, again, joking aside, the topic. Right. Like the topic is so interesting. Like Elizabeth Thorne has a fantastically interesting background and what we know about her.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, but there are a bunch of women that I think a lot of folks are going to learn a lot about, and I'm just, I don't know. I know I sound like a broken record, but I am just so excited to give some play to these folks because they were really hearty, interesting contributors to this area, and in pretty horrific circumstances in some cases.
And I'm glad that you and Beth said yes to doing it, because it's something I've wanted to do, but it's just It's not that I couldn't do it. I could just, just start doing Ask a Guides or Patreon episodes about that and stuff. But I feel like it's a topic that deserves its own show.
Well, thank you.
And same with Black history. I would love to produce a show about Black history because there's a lot of that. It's like a parallel universe, basically, the history that they have to us, because, I mean, a lot of it overlaps, but in many other ways, culturally and otherwise, it's like a whole different world.
Right.
And we don't know it. Like
experiences.
It's just, yeah. So I would love to do that eventually too, but there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to do, and I wish I could do it all, but I can't. And so you have to get other people to do it. But anyway, I think you guys on Patreon are going to love That's What She Said. Once we get, I think maybe once we get 6 episodes in the can, I'll start releasing them. And then the first year, they're going to be on Patreon only. And that's kind of the proving ground. So we want to hear from our patrons, a little feedback, improve here, improve there. This is great. Keep that up. Whatever it is, as
just
we often do.
Just be nice, be gentle.
Oh, they are. They're
Bethany and I
They're
have
very
not
nice. They're very nice. They're very forgiving.
We absolutely want the constructive criticism, but
just say it in a nice way.
Yeah, please. Don't be
there's
brutal.
nobody abusive. There's nobody abusive on Patreon. First of all, they're nice because they're paying.
Fair enough.
They're like. They're nice enough to say, I'm going to give you my hard-earned money.
But I think that also gives them leeway to be super hypercritical, right?
If they were assholes, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But they're not.
But I think it would only do us more. It would do us a good deed by telling us where we can improve, giving us suggestions for maybe topics or questions or what kind of stuff you want to hear about once these start coming out, because it's only going to shed more light on the women that we want so badly to do well by. So, and I think I'm not out of line there speaking for Bethany too, because I know we both want so badly to share these stories and bring these women to life, because to say they deserve it is an understatement. So,
I agree. All right, so let's see. Dark Shadows Paranormal and History says, I would love to do a paranormal investigation at Gettysburg, Antietam, Seminary Ridge, Sachs Covered Bridge, etc. So Dark Shadows, are you, I'm guessing that you have something to do with all that stuff. I would like to are you local? Are you regional? Where are you, Dark Shadows? Because shoot me an email, matt@addressinggettysburg.com, and we'll talk. McBroom Bob. Let me just mute that. Sorry, so we don't hear that again. He says, hi, I was just looking at my 1920s car guide to the battlefield. Love that place. Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty neat.
That's pretty neat. Let's see. Fraser Boy, yes, Dirty Bernie. Okay, Dirty Bernie, what do you got going on in here? That's what I always do when visiting there, but unfortunately I'll be staying. Okay. We're bringing our fur babies. Looking forward to Ronnie.
Kevin Baginski, hello.
Kevin Baginski. Hi, Kevin. How are you doing? Where's Kevin? I don't see Kevin.
He's under Dirty Bernie. I'm missing some of the comments you're reading, and I guess I'm seeing some that you're not seeing. There's a Joseph
okay.
Heathly,
There's Kevin. I see him.
Also new from Ohio. Hi, Joseph.
Oh, another new one. Hey, how you doing, Ohio? Nice. And let's see. Dark Shadows says, I have a book here, whom was written by a young girl who witnessed the battle at Gettysburg. Was that Tilly Pierce?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Matt, hold my beer. I can be a big a-hole if you like. With a name like Dirty Bernie, I can't imagine. Let's see.
Dark Shadows is from Ontario.
Oh, Canada. Okay. Oh, yeah, he said that before. I'm sorry. You did say that. Dirty Bernie, no, he's not. I don't know who's talking to. Dan Casella from New Jersey. Dan was on the show talking about New Jersey at the Battle of Gettysburg. That'll be on Patreon sometime in the future. I don't know where it is in the pipeline, but I have that all at home. Okay, so what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to take a break. But we're only going to do one break. We're doing a shorter show today. Nobody else is here, just me and Ronnie. Colby's not here. 6 Questions hasn't stopped by. Cam is not knocking on the door because Cam is in West Virginia. And that's right. So all the people that are like, enough with the Cam. You got too much Cam? Okay. Well, now
until summer at least.
Until
Maybe,
summer,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, we don't know.
It's
He'll
hard,
probably
yeah.
be at some foreign outpost.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah, if he's teaching down in West Virginia, it's pretty hard for him to come up on Thursday night and go back down for Friday school. But yeah, that's
Well, Cam.
He'll figure out a way to call in or something. We can't just. Yeah, there's I don't know how much. Is an appropriate level of care, appropriate amount of Cam.
I think one phone call a month is probably good. You know, but like, I'll have to make it so that I know it's him calling in, and it'll use my discretion. Will he fit in today on this show? No, maybe not. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just ignore it, and then he calls in next week. Okay, this is the time for Cameron. But Cameron is a polarizing figure on the show. A lot of people don't realize this. Some people are like, I love Cam. Cam's hilarious. And most people say that.
Yeah.
Most people say that. But there are people that say, okay, it's not that I don't like Cameron. It's that it's too much Cameron. And I said this back in November, I think it was. I'm relying too much on Cam. I'm getting too lazy. But November is coming towards the end of the year, and that's where I start getting exhausted and mentally exhausted. And like I can't. My creative juices aren't there anymore. And keeping up with it. But I am quite well rested. I don't think I told you. Did I? I didn't think I told it. I had a parasite.
Yeah, you told me.
I told you that. I told you that.
No, I'm pretty sure you went into it.
No, I said I was sick. I don't know if I said I had a parasite. Anyway, I had a parasite. It was awful. Lost like 20 pounds.
Yeah,
Gained 10 of it
sure
back.
We talked about this on there.
Did we?
Yeah,
okay. Well, then
sure.
great. All right, good. We don't need to talk about it anymore. All right, fine. Then we won't say anything.
Bonfire.
There. That's about as much Cam as we're going to get today. Okay? That's good. All right. Very good. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We'll come back and share some news with you. A lot of exciting things happening. I'm sure. I don't know yet. Ronnie hasn't told us, but we'll find out right after these words. And I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong slider there. And we don't have the phone lines up if you want to call and welcome us back because the internet is acting wonky, so I'm using my phone. It's a big mess. Can't wait to move into town. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Been craving a Hot Pocket or a bag of popcorn? Now's the time to go and get it. You got 5 to 8 minutes, so don't be late. We'll be right back.
A minstrel boy to war has gone in the ranks of death. You will find him. His father's sword he hath girded on, and his wild harp slung behind.
Say, what do you call a joke about coffee? A brouhaha. Yeah. And where can you find the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? At 82 Cafe. Located at 82 Steinway Avenue, the 82 Cafe roasts all of their coffee in-house, and each cup of coffee is brewed fresh to order. Perhaps you enjoy a perfectly extracted espresso or a seasonally flavored latte. Well, they specialize in that too. So next time you're in Gettysburg and need a pick-me-up or a light breakfast, visit the 82 Cafe located across the street from the Dobbin House. Not visiting Gettysburg in the near future, but still want to enjoy a fresh cup of delicious coffee at home? Well, 82 ships freshly roasted coffee weekly. Just order on their website, www.raggededgerc.com, to see their selection of coffees. So, 82 Cafe located at 82 Steinway Avenue across from the Dobbin House, or raggededgerc.com for online orders. And here's the beauty thing for you. All listeners of Addressing Gettysburg can use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order. How superb.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You can book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt.
Ever wanted to be a part of a movie production? Well, now is your chance. Hope Kelly is still struggling with heartache several years after her abrupt, life-changing decision to buy an apple farm outside the small town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. But the loneliness of isolation gradually replaced the peace she initially found on the farm. Sent reeling when her fiancé left her for another woman before a previous Christmas, Hope has sworn off Christmas and relationships. But when her brother Ryan's old army buddy Nick shows up to the farm and is immediately taken with Hope, the temperature starts to rise. Still, it will take a Christmas miracle in the form of Charlie to help mend Hope's heart and allow her to trust again and find love. Join writer, producer, and director Bo Brinkman in the production of A Gettysburg Gettysburg Christmas with named talents like Jake Busey and Lee Majors. The script has tailored scenes to shoot at specific locations to highlight the beauty, history, and capture the Christmas spirit of Gettysburg with the goal of inspiring viewers to visit in droves. Those of you who have been wanting another movie to revitalize interest in visiting our awesome town have finally gotten your wish. And now you can be a part of getting this project off the ground. Bo and company are turning to you, the citizens of Gettysburg and the lovers of Gettysburg, to make this grassroots effort work. No Hollywood BS, just pure Christmas joy and romance. Just click the link in the show notes to get started or go to GoFundMe.com and search for A Gettysburg Christmas.
Need a Corps badge or other insignia for your uniform? Then check out the Badge Maker. Here's what some of his satisfied customers had to say. Miranda said, I ordered an identification disc from Joe and it's fantastic. He hand stamped it exactly as I wanted. It has a great rough on-campaign feel to it and was reasonably priced to boot. Greg said, my unit has purchased from him in the past. Quality badges and good service. And Jerry S. says, the Badge Maker is the go-to place for accurate replica Civil War badges. Visit CivilWarCorpsBadges.com and attach a message with your order saying you heard about him on Addressing Gettysburg.
This special episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com. Hey, historian, author, and licensed battlefield guide Tim Smith. Matt gave me a full minute, so let me ask you an important question. Isn't it about time that John Burns' Hero of Gettysburg became an audiobook? Sickles has an audiobook. You know Jenny Wade is going to deserve an audiobook. Let's give John a shot. Get in touch, Tim. It's MikeScottVoice.com. I'm Mike Scott, your voice of history.
And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit CivilWarTrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own. Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum, is housed in the historic Lutheran Seminary building constructed in 1832, a witness to the first day of battle. The museum's 3 floors of exhibits connect visitors to the dilemmas that led to the Civil War, provide a powerful and personal view of the battle's first day, and explore one of the battlefield's largest hospitals. No visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center is complete without a guided tour of the building's famous cupola, where on the eve of battle, officers and civilians saw thousands of Confederate soldiers' campfires burning to the west, and Brigadier General John Buford watched for vital federal reinforcements as fighting erupted on the morning of July 1st. Today, you can stand where Buford stood and discover how this view helped chart the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. Your trip to Gettysburg is not complete without a serious visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum. Purchase tickets online at seminaryridgemuseum.org or call 717-339-1300.
To get tickets or a cupola tour, listeners may call or walk in and mention Addressing Gettysburg, or by ordering online using the promo code AG1863 for 20% off.
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. It began here.
There's a devil to pay.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or you sip shipped from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
For the Historian has a wide variety of titles, new and used, of military books from publishers like Osprey, Gettysburg Publishing, Stackpole, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more. I make it a point to go there once a week because I have new bookshelves to fill and I never know what treasures I'll find, and neither will you. They even have toy soldiers, model kits, games, children's books, and more. So stop by and check them out on your next visit to Gettysburg, or better yet, order right now online at forthehistorian.com and mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund you your shipping. And if you call 717-685-5207 or stop by the store on your next visit and mention us, you'll get 20% off retail price. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
Hey, Gettysburg business owners. Winter is just around the bend, and you know what that means. No tourists. But just because people aren't coming to you doesn't mean you can't bring your business to them. If you ship, you're still in the game. And if you're a seasonal business, the time to advertise for your next season is in the off season when people are making their plans. So what's an affordable yet highly effective way of reaching those people? Well, it's not radio. It's not TV, and it's certainly not print. Step out of the Jurassic era of advertising and run an ad on Addressing Gettysburg. We just reached 1 million downloads, and we're growing by the tens of thousands every month. Beyond that, our audience is happy to support those who support their favorite podcast. So email sales@addressinggettysburg for more information about advertising on our show. We look forward to helping your business grow. That's sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
These two give a damn. You're back with Matt and Ronnie Ronstadt.
Let pocket sons be not dismayed at something, 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 something. Everything is something else, and carry on and glory. Instead of squabble, drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the net.
Thank God Billy didn't invite you to help out with that recording.
He wanted me to do backup, but for some reason he declined after a while of thinking about it. He said, I don't know why.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right, Sweet Brown. Okay. All right, let me get my microphone all squared away here. So, before we get on to the news, there were some comments here I was looking at, so let me look at them and tell you about them. Beauregard, 77, greetings from Boston. We have some history up here, Concord, Mass. And then somebody says, how do you pronounce it? Concord? Concord? I've heard both. How would you pronounce it? Concord. If you were Massachusetts?
Concord.
Yeah. Because you know the English language.
No, I actually kind of cheated. I think he Beauregard did answer CON-CORD, which I would say Concord.
But the way he says it is Concord or Concord. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I always heard them say it is Concord.
Like I conquered that county.
Well, yeah,
like
that's what it sounds. Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
like, what Concord? What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. They're like, Era, go over to Concord over there. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that was a Boston accent. I don't know what that was.
I was trying to. The only thing I could, Kennedy, right?
Era, yeah, I don't think that was Kennedy.
Era, ask not what your country can do for you. Yeah. Where do these accents come from?
There's a little bit of Cunk on Earth mixed in there. I don't know what you were doing there. Oh, my
God. Oh, I can't believe I didn't bring this up to the audience already. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do you another favor. Have I led you astray before? Probably. But you will love this. Cunk, Cunk on Earth on Netflix. There's other ones. There's Cunk on Shakespeare. There's Cunk on Christmas. There's Cunk on Britain. But Cunk on Earth is the newest one. And
that's on Netflix. All the other stuff is on YouTube because the other stuff originated in Britain.
BBC.
Yeah.
I have such a crush on this girl. I swear to God, I don't know why. Because she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Cunk on Earth, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. That's all I'm going to say. 4 times I've binged it in the last, what did I tell you, a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
Oh my gosh, I think it was this week, wasn't it? I don't even remember. Yeah, no, seriously, I mean.
It wasn't this week. It was last. It was definitely. It was either
Maybe
last week or the
maybe
week
it was like
before.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
I forget when I saw. Oh, we went out. That's right. We went out after. Oh my goodness, the winter lecture over the weekend, and you mentioned it. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god! Wait here. So let me see. So okay, there's a bunch of other comments that I wanted to get to here. Concord, Mass. Okay, how far is Cam fine little bighorn? How far is Cam from fine little bighorn? You mean from Little Bighorn? I'm sure that's what you meant there, Josh. He's 4 hours, unless you're going the other way, then you're crossing time zones, and it's 3 hours.
That was one of the best, like, genuine, like, Cam moments.
It really was. Like, Cam, how long does it take you to get to Little Bighorn? 4 hours. 4 hours. How long does it take you to get back? Thinking he would go, 4 hours, right? He goes,
yeah.
But 3, because you're crossing time zones. It's like, man, thank you. I got on my knees and I said, thank you, baby Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. All right, so let's see. And then Beauregard says, darn, I will miss Cam. I love Cam. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, more people love Cam.
Absolutely.
And nobody
Hands down.
dislikes Cam. I don't mean to make it seem like people hate Cam. Nobody dislikes Cameron. They just, it's really a criticism of me, not Cam. And they're saying, you're doing too much Cameron. Enough.
His shtick is a little bit, sometimes it's a little repetitive.
Well, and then when we go out to dinner afterwards, it continues.
Yes.
Like, people think he's putting on an act.
Right.
He's
and
not.
It's not.
No. Honestly, putting him on the show is what I consider my pay for having to listen to that when we're just hanging out, It's like, you know what? I'm going to capitalize on this. All right, Beauregard, did you catch the History Underground series on your local area? Okay, they're talking about something else. Cam is very unique and interesting, says Estella Beard. Thank you, Estella. You're right. I'm a big fan of Cam. He needs his own podcast, says Harold Hahn. Well, let's not go crazy, Harold. We have an idea for a podcast with him and Ken Rich. But the old saying about sweeping fleas across a barn floor or something like, in other words, it's not going to happen. It's not that they said no. They both like the idea of it, but, good luck keeping both of them on task.
It's going to be a 10-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 1. 10 hours later.
Episode 1. We're going to break it up. The whole season will be the first episode broken up into 10 1-hour segments.
Those boys can talk.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe we could just do it that way. Just let them sit here and talk for 5 hours, and then I got 5 episodes. I'll just break them up by the hour. But it would be about trains. That's what it would have been. Listen, we could do anything. More patrons. That's what we need. We need more support. We could do stuff. We could hire people for things. Let's see here. No problem. Bo's so jealous. Okay, I am late to the party. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? Working for a living sucks. Yes, it does. Piano Beach. I have. Oh, okay. So he's going. You're right, man. Blah blah blah. Boston, not Concord. Concord. Boston. Okay, whatever. Dang, I didn't know you guys were on a day early. Yes, Gene. So we were explaining that earlier. We are now going to do it on Thursdays at 5:30 because Veronica has too much of a life on Fridays. Yeah.
Well, all these fantastic dates honestly, I have lined up.
Honestly,
that's exactly what it is. No, honestly, that's not funny. Why did you laugh at that? That's so mean.
No, it was. I got your sarcasm. I understood what you were doing.
Right, fine.
No, but honestly, I say that because Veronica has too much of a life, which she does. She makes plans and goes away on the weekends and stuff. I don't do that. But, I would like to have a bit of a life. And so, I make my own schedule. I'm my own boss, right? And so I'm like, you know what? F it. I want Fridays off. I want a 3-day weekend every week. And then I'll just cram my Monday through Wednesday, and Thursday will be a light day. And then Friday, honestly, I'm going to
still work. You work.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up editing on Friday. But anyway, Veronica, it's her fault. And then, who was it? Jean Hutchinson says Philomena Cunk. So she has already discovered the wonders of Philomena Cunk, Cunk on Earth, my future wife. I love Philomena Cunk. Okay, let's see. John, where's from my phone? Is the time is a Cam. Cam is the real deal. He is who he is. You're absolutely right, Tim. Tim M says that about Cameron. Love Guinness, but how much is too much? Are you talking about Alec Guinness or the beer? Concord. Bill Pike. I agree. Concord. Barbara Schultz. I'm amazed someone who can't pronounce festival or Swiss is allowed to teach children. Barbara.
I don't understand that one.
Barbara, you kill me. Oh my God,
I'm kidding.
You don't understand that one.
I don't get the reference.
Cliff McCurley, do you think the park missed an opportunity with the live artillery shell found in Little Round Top the other day? Someone should have asked the EOD team to control detonate the shell amongst the beaver dams.
Aww.
All right, so let's see. Let me finish off these, and then we'll get to that. Gene loves Cunk, and so do I, Gene. So do I. And Kevin Pasco says, how about the... Okay, we got that. We're going to get to that. Everybody relax. Visiting in April with students, first time in 4 years. COVID sucked. Have a few questions for you and Veronica. Thought about calling in. Email okay? Yes, Matt. Absolutely. Shoot an email to Matt at addressinggettysburg.com. Brian Hike says, I love... Okay, so other people have discovered Cunk, and as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, I am not full of it here with this recommendation. Cunk on Earth, Netflix. And you're going to see some stuff coming out later. About a year from now, we're going to start... Well, all right. Now, the shell. I got pictures of the shell here for you folks, okay? Colby, if you don't mind going to that. Okay, man, no problem. Thanks. All right, so here we go. Here we go. This is the shell. Now, a lot of people are like, and I even said this too because I didn't look closely at the picture. Actually, the first picture I saw was not this clean. It was freshly pulled out of the mud. It was taken from far away, and I couldn't make anything out on it really. And so I said, I wish, we knew the trajectory, like basically what the angle it was found in, and I wonder if they took pictures of that, blah, 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 because I want to figure out where it came from. But I just recorded a show with Ralph Siegel, and we were talking about it, and he says, and I think I agree with him, that it is dropped. It is not a fired round. Now, looking at this picture, ladies and gentlemen, and answering the comments, why would Ralph say that is dropped and not fired? I'm going to wait.
Well, I mean, it looks like it landed perfectly on that nest of straw. So.
Well, that's like your first clue. Yeah. All right.
While you're giving them time, I'm teasing, but just in case any of our listeners don't know what the heck we're talking about, give a little bit of background, Matt. What the show? What is it? Where
yesterday, okay, so you know how they're doing renovations and whatnot on Devil's Den.
Little Round Top.
Devil's Round Top.
But yes.
Okay, so they're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
rehabilitation, I think it is.
Rehabilitation. What did I say? Renovation. Whatever. I can't. I can't keep track of all these words I'm supposed to learn.
Well, those new townhouses need to be renovated up there. So.
What townhouses? You're confusing.
All right,
me.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
So. When they do this, and you can go and watch or listen to, was it Sunday's lecture that was about Little Round Top? What the ground laid bare or something like that? Yeah. You can go and listen, and they explain how it's all done. In fact, I think I don't want to get his title wrong, but I think he's the chief archaeologist who did the presentation. Jeff Irwin is his name. Went up to him afterwards. And I invited him to come on the show to talk more about this. So we're hopefully going to do a live one with him.
Oh, neat.
And then and also we're going to get Steve Sims back on once we can narrow down a date. Anyway, they explained it. And they have a guy that they contract who comes out and metal detects. Because if you're going to disturb the ground, you have to metal detect and do an archeological dig, and
maybe for obvious reasons.
Exactly. People blowing up. So this was just part of how it works, and they're going to be putting in a trail somewhere, the Texas Trail they call it. So it's down from the 16th Michigan, from what I understand. And so he was doing the metal detecting and came upon this, and they dug it out. And there you go. There's the story. And so everybody's all excited about it. Of course, on Facebook, in the comments section, people are all over the place. Some people are, wow, that's cool. Other people are like, and then there's everything in between.
And the private citizens that were basically upset that they weren't called to volunteer to detonate it so that we could preserve it is.
Yes. I love the demolitions experts who are upset that their business, if they have a business, or if they're hobbyist demolition guy.
We're just collecting these things from museums or private collectors, and that gives them the right to think that, well, wait a minute, I could have, I mean, we could have saved this if they would have just called me. It's pretty wild.
That's all they do.
Anyway, sorry.
So they're, yeah, exactly. They, so there's all these people, whatever. Okay, so great. So today we're doing an episode from this book here. Top 10 at Gettysburg. If you don't have it, it's not easy to find. It's out of print, but I found this, I believe, up at the bookstore at the Visitor Center. I also believe I have a memory of seeing it For the Historian. They're a sponsor. You get a discount with them. Give them a call first and see if they have it before you get it anywhere else. It's very handy to have. Go ahead, take it. Oops. Go ahead, just pull it. Okay. That's fine. It's very handy to have.
They definitely had it. I mean, had it. I don't know if they still do, but I can. Yep, absolutely. I can envision it on the shelf.
Yes,
yeah, for
there
sure.
you go. Because Veronica used to work there.
Used to, yeah.
For the Historian. All right, so it's a very good book. It's got a whole bunch. Just give me some. What's one of the top 10 lists? Just open a random one and tell me what it is.
Top 10 civilian accounts at Gettysburg.
Top 10 civilian accounts at Gettysburg. Give me another one. You can go to the
top 10 grave sites at the Gettysburg National Cemetery.
That's the next one that we're going to do with Ralph. That's the next one we're going to do.
Top 10 brigades with the most casualties.
Top 10 brigades with the most casualties. Okay, you see what I mean? It's it's these cool little trivial lists, right? So today we did top 10 most unique cannon in the park. Okay. And then, of course, I brought up the shell. We talked about the shell. And Ralph said, that was dropped. That was not fired. And I said, well, let's see. Did anybody answer? Let's see. I love Cunk. Can you disarm a shell in a bonfire? Yes, you can. Brian says no rifling. No rifling marks on the sabot. Yeah. No rifling marks. Okay. Yes. But very simply, I just said, because the sabot's still there. Because the sabot... Okay, look.
It's like an actor I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't know anything about artillery either.
And I've heard it pronounced sabot and sabot, and to me it sounds French, and it should be sabot. I'm dropping the T. That's what I'm going. But you see this, Ronnie? See the lighter gray, the lead part here? Yep. It's either lead or what was the other thing? Zinc? Is it? No, not zinc. It's shit. I can't remember what the other. But it's a softer metal, and when the explosion happens. In the barrel or in the tube, this expands and catches the rifle grooving and spins, right?
Okay.
Sometimes they stay intact. Sometimes they separate from the shell whatever. And so that was the clue I had. And then, of course, as everybody else is pointing out, there's no rifling on it and things like that.
So can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
So inside that shell, there are small, that's meant to explode?
Yeah, see there at the end, that little circle there?
Okay.
That's the fuse, and that would ignite. Now, unless he says that's a percussion fuse, because the fuse they would have had, it is made of like cardboard, like a paper substance. And if I'm getting anything wrong here, for those of you who know more about this in the audience, please just put it in the comments and we'll correct it. Anyway, he said that if that were paper, that would have been long gone by now. That would have deteriorated. So he thinks that might be like a percussive, where like on impact, there's a little cap inside.
Oh, wow.
That hits the thing and ignites the powder inside. That's what he thinks. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not an artillery guy. I mean, I think artillery is fascinating, but I'm just more about the explosion and the destruction. But I don't really know a lot about the ordnance. Anyway, so this is the big story that's going around here today. I saw it on the news last night. I went to Antica Napoli, fine pizza, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want pizza when you're in the area. And I went there, and they had the TV on, and there it was on the news. Big deal.
Yeah.
Unexploded ordnance found at Gettysburg. And of course, everybody's all upset. Why are they upset, Ronnie? Because they didn't disarm it and put it in the museum, or because they didn't call their demolition company to blow it up. You know, 1.5 million reasons that make no sense and have nothing to do with what the park. I think the Park Service did a fine job with this. They closed. I mean, you couldn't get anywhere near there. They closed Crawford and Ayers.
A couple other too, down by Devil's Den. Well, yeah. Okay,
yeah. And I'm like, geez, I mean, this is like a battlefield nuke, you know? It's like, come on.
I mean,
but still, but they did.
You have to be better safe than sorry, right?
Exactly.
You don't know exactly how volatile that thing is. You know, my 2 cents worth really nothing, but in the long run, here it is.
2
I mean,
cents.
no, not even. You know, the Park Service put a couple posts out yesterday. I happened to see the one with the photos where it was cleaned off, and they acknowledged that the team that came up from Fort, how do you say that, Belvoir?
Belvoir.
I don't know. Down in
I've never
Virginia.
actually said it. Fort Belvoir.
Whatever.
Fort B.
Right? The military installation that came up here to respond to that, you know, they said that they were the ones that, like, you know, gently cleaned it off just so Park Service personnel could get photos, or at least, and just to be clear, they did not say the Park Service took the photos. They said so that photos could be taken for the Park Service. So, you know, these other people were like, oh, it's so dangerous, but the Park Service is out there with a camera. No, I'm not exactly sure that's how that went down. They could have taken them themselves, the actual, you know, expert demolition, and the military, they responded, right? Like the crew. But my biggest point is, you may have wanted that preserved as a private citizen or a collector or history, but the National Park Service, not just Gettysburg,
right?
The National Park Service has protocols for exactly when these things are found, what they need to do.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, the experts, which would be the employees of the National Park Service, followed their protocol.
Exactly.
So you can have any issue with you know how it was handled, but at the end of the day, it was handled per protocol.
Absolutely.
So, I don't see anywhere to fault the folks here that found it.
They just want to,
and that did what they needed to do per what their rules and regulations dictate. So, you know,
people, and I understand a little bit of it. I do. When government is involved, people want to think something is up and something is being covered up or hidden. Right. What is the need to cover up something about a 160-year-old unexploded shell?
Right.
Like, what is the cover up? What do you hide?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's so paranoid. Not Frank.
The irony
Ralph.
is the fact that they publicized it.
Yes,
It means there was no cover up.
Exactly.
They could have easily found it, and it could have been, you know, the secret of the 3 people that were up on Little Round Top, the metal detector, you know, like, I mean, they could have easily found it and detonated it without even publicizing pictures or anything. But they are being pretty transparent, in my opinion, by posting this stuff to the World Wide Web, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's
yes.
I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like any criticism. And I know you have that little snip of me making fun of the folks that were just criticizing the Devil's Den project, right? Before they were even done with the steps and everything like that, people were freaking out about how it doesn't look authentic.
They're taking this out. Oh, it's so unnatural. And this
That's
is
the one.
horrible. And this is bad. And how can
anything to complain?
That looks slippery. And this looks...
Thank you. That is definitely the one I was referring to.
Yes. Just want to make sure that's what the word. Yeah.
I mean, you know, like it or not, maybe if you want to change it, reach out to your representatives or something and say, hey, look, next time this comes, like, why don't you have them reevaluate their protocol? But for all intents and purposes, when it was found yesterday or whatever, they followed what was on the books as to how they're supposed to do it.
Yes.
I don't, you know.
Because everybody thinks, okay, here's what it is. I think this is what it is. So Ralph and I were talking afterwards, and we were just talking about, various things. We just, the subjects, you know, change by the second, and you know, like a normal conversation. And I forget exactly what we were talking about, but Ralph, I was saying to people, or I was saying to him how, like, you know, a lot of times on the show, I try to emphasize the horror of things, the gore, you know, the poop, because I think that we, and I say we, including myself, just only a few years ago, we romanticize and glorify war,
Right.
and we think it's glamorous, and it's a John Wayne movie, right? And it's not. That was Hollywood, during the Cold War. So there's like a lot of things at play that make it look like war is just this wonderful thing, and the American warrior is tough and brave and never cries, And Ralph used a good term. He said, Gettysburg is very Disneyfied in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
And I think the movie has a lot to do with that, is that people prefer to believe the movie version of things, the romanticized version of things. That's why you hear people who, I've been coming here for 18 years. I come twice a year and I love it. I just can't get enough of it. If only they had let Hood go around the right. And it's like, you've really never gone any further than the movie, sir? Like, because you would know that why that's a foolish thing.
Yeah, right.
So,
I mean, my God, even I know that.
Even you know that. Exactly.
I don't know anything about this battle.
Exactly. And you're a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sexist bitch.
I just wanted to press that button.
Nice setup. Anyway.
But that's the thing, is like, this is, I think, to a lot of people, this is in their mind, and they'll never admit this, but their behavior, and all I need to know, to them, doing the history. Right. But that's because people need to be entertained while they learn. I mean, that's just the way people are now. And if you're not doing that, you're losing people. My point is that, with the shell, it's just that we all think of this place, and I do this too. We all think of Gettysburg as our park. And technically, we pay taxes and it goes towards it. And so it is our park. But that doesn't mean we make the rules. It doesn't mean it's run the way we think it should be run, when we are completely ignorant to the things that are entailed to the things that are involved in whatever the situation is we're commenting on. And as I said to you before the show, don't these people have anything other than the Park Service to do? Like, what do you do with your day? How do you have the time to sit there? Because a lot of these comments were like midday. Mm-hmm. And don't tell me it was your lunch break. Mm-hmm. Why are you on Facebook on your lunch break? Unless you're listening to Addressing Gettysburg. No, but really,
Yeah.
so I think that's what it is with all that stuff there. Sabo. Okay, that's the other way I've heard it said. Sabo, Sabo, Sabat. That song.
Oh, thanks, Ricky. I just saw your comments.
Ricky. Wait, why did he have to stand up for you?
Oh, because I made a comment about how I loved all the X on Facebook coming out of the woodwork, and of course people just jumped all over me.
Yeah.
And that's literally like the only comment I said. I said something to the effect of like, I just love how many experts there are, but a true thank you to the to the real experts who actually took care of this without anybody getting hurt. Right? And oh my goodness, you're so wrong. Okay, what in that is wrong? I'm not really sure.
So,
but thanks, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky, what he said was,
it was the thought that helps.
For those of you who are listening, what he said was, I almost stood up for you, Ronnie, but I was laughing too hard and didn't want them to shift to me. Some man you
I like
are.
it sometimes. I don't know. I get my jolly sometimes.
You do.
Like I do. Like I don't back down to some of these idiots.
You love the sting of battle.
I do.
Yeah.
I
the
do.
sting of battle, the roar of the grease paint, and the smell of the crowd.
Well, when you actually like some of these folks, and I'm not saying all of them that comment, but a lot of these folks that comment, just to comment something contrarian, if you actually look at their profile, like it's a fake. I mean, there's just nobody, like there's nothing real about that account. Like the photos are from like 3 years ago, and it's everybody's like, and it's so goofy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you want to, let's, and then I just say something stupid in return, like, oh, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, and then they don't know what to say. Like, it's just something's, anyway, I like it. It's a break from my real world.
Well, yeah, it's like how my I like on YouTube, I love this time of year because most especially you get people commenting on the YouTube channel because that Cam did with Matt Atkinson, and I don't remember what it was exactly he said, but it was about Matt's part, I think, about Morgan, John Hunt Morgan, and he goes, too bad, or I would have liked it, or he should have, or something like that, talked about how Morgan did such and such and so and so. So I responded, he was gonna ask you, but lost your number. And I like to just respond with something smarmy to people that do that, or people that are like, good episode, but it would be great if there were visuals. It's like, yeah, do you want to come and do it? I mean, you could do it, but I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
Like video is a totally different ballgame.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, all right. So let's see. Black powder is not volatile at all. Once it gets wet, it's inert. Hitting it, dropping it doesn't do anything. Very different from TNT, HDX, RDX. All right, that's good. That's Todd B., who shared that information with us. It was the missile that shot down the plane from 9/11. Jesus, Mr. Baker. Too soon. Maybe proof of time travel. It's from the future. Could be. Yes, okay. People think it's some special, unique artifact. It's not. This is Todd B. I'm sure that NPS has boxes and boxes of shells in storage that never see the light of day. You're absolutely right, Todd. I don't even need to see it. I guarantee you're absolutely right. It's sent to take out the hero of Gettysburg, General Sickles. Yep, okay. Help? Question mark. I need more book recommendations. Okay. Just read Vicksburg and Battle Cry of Freedom. Got Sears Gettysburg in front of me. Okay, let's see. What do you got on the bookshelf there behind you, Ronnie? Well, I always recommend this one. Gettysburg, A Testing of Courage by Noah Andre Trudeau. Maine at Gettysburg, that's another one. The Great Invasion by Jacob Hoke. That's pretty good. Coddington, Gettysburg, A Study in Command. The Gettysburg Campaign, A Study in Command. I don't. It depends on how new you are to all this. I wouldn't get too far into it. One thing that'll help you, actually two things that'll help you in your study of the battle. Gettysburg Campaign Atlas by Philip Lano. And, hold on, folks, relax. Stay right there. Don't worry. We're going to get it. And this one, Maps of Gettysburg by Bradley Gottfried. I have the black and white version here. I have the color one at home because this one is the studio copy. But it's got maps and then descriptions, as does the Lano book. They're set up the same way, just different sizes.
Josh suggested that you just superimpose a photo of Cam for the audio-only episode. There's your visual.
That's a great idea. Oh, hey, everybody, it's Cam.
All right, so I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we were lucky enough to be invited to dinner reservations this evening by mutual friends. So let's rush through this so we're not rude.
Lead anchor Veronica Brestensky with news, traffic, weather, sidewalk conditions, and what's happening this weekend.
I must have all possible information.
All right, Ronnie Ronstadt, tell us what's in the news besides the shell.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. Real quickly, there is another, and we're not even going to dive into this very deeply, but if you want to look into it, you're this week, and actually maybe even towards the end of last week, I did not bring all the details, but basically I believe is a French and Indian conflict, I believe, maybe even, I don't know, it wouldn't have been revolutionary. Anyway, complying with a state regulation that kind of basically mirrors what the National Park Service and the federal government have had in place since like the 60s, when they found out that force on force reenactments turn into a cluster, and apparently the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania now has adopted something very similar, and as a result, unfortunately, I think Bushy Run Battlefield, if I understand correctly, has some kind of state connections. And which is devastating to a small park like that because it was a big fundraiser, of course, et cetera, whatever. I think the big deal is, here at Gettysburg, we take for granted that we have private property pretty adjacent to the actual National Park Service property where people can do a reenactment if they want to, a full-blown shooting at each other, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. So if you're interested in it, just Google Bushy Run Battlefield and it'll give you the link to the legislation and everything that they're talking about. But beyond that, just some events to go over.
Well, no, so wait, on that point though, I think people think of Gettysburg as colonial Williamsburg. This is another thing I was talking about with Ralph, is that people come here with this people walking around in ye old clothing as you're going through town and talking to you as if it's 1863.
That are employees of
and that the battlefield is clean. They haven't done that since the centennial. And as I understand it from Jill Titus's book about the centennial, it was Manassas. Yeah, that's
sure,
right. It was just such a mess for various reasons, and I forget why, which is a good book if you can get. I can't remember the name of it. What was the name of the book? Gettysburg 1963. Good book. Get it. But yeah, so people misunderstand everything.
Live this weekend where the action is.
What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Veronica to fill you in.
It's all covered.
All right,
put him in the cell with a long hose on him. Put him in the cell with a long hose on him.
All kinds of things to do on Saturday because there's a reminder.
Sorry.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was an accident.
So it is Super Bowl weekend, but on Saturday there's all kinds of stuff to do. So let me start with something non-history related. There is a organization that puts on a bi-yearly music festival called Gettysburg Rocks. They do it. In other words, they do it twice a year. It's not that it's homosexual or anything like that. Don't get your panties in a twist.
Half homosexual.
But yeah, right. Yeah. So Gettysburg Rocks is a fundraising event that basically benefits the Four Diamonds organization, which specifically is associated with Penn State's Thon, that raises money for to conquer childhood cancer. In the years that they've been doing it here in Gettysburg, they've raised over $250,000 that they donate directly to, which is pretty cool. So if you want more specific information, there's no way I was going to be able to give you a list of all these bands, but it's over 3 days starting tomorrow. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There are 15 different venues, basically all just 15 different venues. I'm not even going to name them all. And there's 140 bands that are actually participating in this. So it's
that's a lot.
Neat organization.
Where's this?
It's in Gettysburg and around Gettysburg. Yes, it's been going on since 2014.
So it's just like all over the place.
15 venues. So like, I remember when the Pike was open, they used to have an outdoor thing because they do it twice a year. I think it's like a lot of all of those kinds of things. I think maybe Waldo and Company has something. There's all kind of things, but if you want to check this out, it's thank you. You know what? I'm very proud of myself. I went there for the first time. Yeah. So anyway, so check it out. It's called Gettysburg Rocks. You can literally Google Gettysburg Rocks 2023 and you'll get the whole in town. Go support them because it's a great cause. They're doing it for charity.
Good for you guys, Gettysburg Rocks.
Yeah, pretty cool. The entire weekend is the Who Are We Ken Burns Film Festival.
Yes.
Starting tomorrow night with a couple screenings running Saturday and Sunday. Now, I will give the caveat that most of the events are, in fact, sold out. However, there are still some tickets available if you contact the Majestic Theater. I know they're showing tomorrow Brooklyn Bridge. I think on Saturday, the Central Park 5 and a thing about the Roosevelts maybe. But there are certain clips or showings that are still available. So if you're interested, grab your tickets through the Majestic. Also on Saturday, the National Park Service is continuing their winter lecture series. It's our buddy John Hoptak, who's a favorite of mine. I'm a big fan. He is talking at this 1:30 at the Visitor Center. He is talking about 1st and 61, Nick Biddle and the Pennsylvania's Forgotten First Defenders. They don't get as much credit as some of the other regiments that were attacked traveling through Baltimore, but there were 5 Pennsylvania companies that were actually assaulted by pro-Confederate, pro-Southern units, and one of the members was a free black man who was in Union Blue that day by the name of Nick Biddle. So listen to John on Saturday explain that story and some, again, shedding light on something that probably most of us don't know about.
Yeah.
There is no Sunday
presentation.
presentation.
You know what else we don't know about?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a swamp dragon.
Oh, yeah, we need to get that on. I'm gonna need to get that taken care of soon.
Well, maybe John can do something about the swamp dragon someday.
Maybe. I'm sure he's waiting with bated breath to get asked to do that. There is no Sunday winter lecture for the adults because of the Super Bowl.
So.
Right.
On Saturday for the kids, they're doing another History Kids Reading Adventure Club from 11 to 11:45. This week's topic is the book Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez by Kathleen Kroll and illustrated by Yuyi Morales. So that's at 11, also at the Visitor Center. So if you have kids between the ages of 4 and 10, take them up there and get educated. And then on Sunday, Ken Rich is going to do his free Gettysburg Irregulars at 11 a.m. at the Hub at Getty's Gear. He's going to be talking about filled hospitals this week. That's at Baltimore Street over by Hoofin and Fowl. So go ahead and give our buddy Ken a little bit of love and go see him.
And Fowl. We haven't been there in a while. We
should, long time.
We should go sometime.
Yep. And then just real quickly, the upcoming week. This coming Tuesday is not only Valentine's Day, reminder to most of the guys out there, I'm sure. But if you don't have a date when you're in town, wait a minute. This actually has something to do with you because, I don't know if you're going to have a date or not.
I'm not going to have a date.
Okay, perfect. You are a member of the Cumberland Valley Civil War Roundtable.
Aye.
And in honor of Black History Month, they're doing a special presentation. The speaker is Ed Gant. He's going to speak on the topic of the United States colored troops and their involvement in the Civil War. So that is at 7 p.m., Tuesday the 14th, at the Franklin Fire Hall. Now, just for everybody's knowledge out there, that is not Gettysburg specific, but it's right down the road in Chambersburg. So they have their meetings
And there's
on Tuesdays.
There's several licensed Battlefield guides who are in it.
Yeah, Tracy Bear, Larry Korzik. Lots of people.
Jason Heilman.
Yep.
Other ones who I am drawing a blank on right now because I haven't been since last year. I'm a member of that, and I haven't been once this year.
I know. We've been going, and you haven't been there.
You've been going to mine?
I have. Yeah. I am a big. I don't just come on here and say like support your local Civil War roundtables. I actually put money where my mouth is.
Yeah. Well, you have time too.
Right. Yeah.
But no. Well, next time you go, tell me.
The 14th. That's my big Valentine.
Going?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely I am.
All right.
And then also, real quick, let me just knock this out so we can get out of here. Friday is another Civil War Roundtable. It is the Harrisburg Civil War Roundtable. Our buddy Mark Blanchard is the president there. And historian Jared Frederick from Real History, Real REEL.
Right.
He does a podcast about movies and cinematics and things like that.
Very good.
He's going to be the presenter. Yeah, I just got a text say 7 p.m. Don't forget. So we will be there. Real History. He's going to be talking about Black troops and Civil War cinema, looking at how Black troops have been presented by Hollywood over the last century. Now they do a little bit of a different Civil War roundtable where they have dinner for their members ahead of time.
Well, they're a big city, so they have.
And it's a nice presentation.
Also, their roundtable is square.
Yes. Anyway, so long story short, you can Google them as well, but the announcements start at 7:45 and the presentation actually starts at 8 p.m. So they get a little bit of a later start, but that's Friday, February 18th. So just the upcoming week, there's some things to do, not just on the weekend. So there you go, guys.
All right, very good. Well, and that's it, Ronnie?
That's it. My stomach's rumbling. That's it.
We're starving, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to go eat. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, from now on, we're Thursdays at 5:30, or as they say in Spanish, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco y media. And so we'll see you from now on Thursday nights. And I'm sure Veronica's going to miss. Oh, yeah, because you've got your round table.
Yeah.
So you're going to miss
once
some
a month. I'm probably going to be missing. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So maybe I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to do. But anyway, that's it. It's good to be back. It's good to see your names and talk to you guys in the chat. We'll see you next week. And there's like 5 weeks left of winter till spring. So we're almost out of it, folks. See you next week.
Addressing Gettysburg Today is hosted and produced by Matt Callery and Veronica Brestensky, Esquire. Engineered by Colby Sumner and maybe sometimes someone else. Guests of the show stay wherever they want. That's not our concern. To be a guest on the show, send an email to matt@addressinggettysburg.com. Addressing Gettysburg Today broadcasts from the Gettys Bike Tour studios. To get a 15% discount on your next tour with Gettys Bike, call 717-752-7752. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Thanks for listening.
There were many Union men who wept with joyful tears when they saw the honor flag they had not seen for years. Hardly could they be restrained from breaking forth in cheers while we were marching to Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the jubilee. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to Messina while we were marching to Georgia. While we were marching to Georgia.
Beginning to see why your wife left with us. For people that bad, it's that and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
This concludes our broadcast.